Time now for Wednesday's top 5 stories. Number 5, here we go. T-Wolves at Pelicans. Zion finished with 25 points, 8 boards. It came in a losing effort, though. New Orleans now 4 games back from the 8th seed in the West. Nick, starting to get nervous that this Pelicans team might not make the playoffs?
Yeah, I feel like this weekend just was terrible for them. The Lakers did them dirty. The Lakers lose to the Grizzlies, helped the Grizzlies in the standing, then beat the Pelicans, hurt the Pelicans. The Pelicans then, as is often the case in their losses, the offense looks good, the defense is non-existent. Zion once again goes 20-plus, but it doesn't matter. And you lose to the Timberwolves? Like,
he plays Luka tonight, so this is like real game.
Absolutely.
Now we're in like must-win territory for the Pelicans.
Sarah, how excited?
They're not making it.
They're not making it.
Just cold water.
So wait,
I'm going Memphis. My dark horse to come back in if Memphis doesn't get in is
They're not making it.
Dame will come back.
Oh,
he'll put on his cape.
But what about Rookie of the Year? If they don't make it, no Rookie of the Year?
Oh, he's got no shot if they don't make it, even if maybe he's
Just the thought.
But a stud, a bona fide stud.
In at number 4, Nets and Celtics. What a game. Call it the Karis LeVert show. Guy scored 37 of his career high 51 in the 4th quarter and overtime to rally his Nets from a 15-point deficit.
Jenna, say that again real quick.
51 points.
And 37 in the 4th and overtime.
In the 4th and overtime. Sarah, how impressive was LeVert last night?
He has been absolutely locked in since Kyrie Irving has went out, but I think most impressive, especially last night, the consistency of him knocking down jumpers and three-point shots, and that's changed the complexion of what he can do offensively. We talk about guys getting to their spots. He can always get through his spots, explosive, his ability to play make with the ball in his hands, but he was just so clutch. It was extraordinary to see.
And when Durant and Kyrie are back, how is he going to play? How does he fit in the system?
I think he fits great, just given the fact that he could play on the ball, he could play off the ball. If someone who could put up 51 at Boston, 37 between a quarter and an overtime period, it could be potentially your 3rd best player. Not too bad.
This was the game of the night in the NBA. It's not just down 15 in the 4th to come back and win in overtime. Karis LeVert had 14 points after 3 quarters. Finishes with 51. We could only look it up over the last quarter century. No player has had fewer points through 3 quarters in a 50-point game. It's the most points in a 4th quarter and overtime in the NBA in the last 20 years, including Kobe's 81-point game. And what he was able to do, he scored all 11 in overtime. It was a great performance for a team that is finding its way without its stars.
The Karis LeVert show last night. Moving on to number 3 now. Clippers in the middle of a brutal stretch, taking on OKC last night, where they pulled out a win. They got the Rockets and Lakers next. All right, Nick, what can we learn about the Clippers on this current stretch they're on?
Well, let's see. I think Rockets Clippers, assuming both teams get there, is a likely round 2 matchup, 2-3 in the Western Conference playoffs.
Be a good one.
Right now, I would heavily favor the Rockets. I also think the Rockets' new small ball is going to give the Clippers fits, but we've seen them play 3 times, as Sarah, as you alluded to. We haven't seen them play post-Capella, so I'm very curious to see how they play. And then, obviously, the Clippers have beat the Lakers twice this year, so we'll get to see them on Sunday.
That's what I'm more curious about. How do they match up against this new style that the Rockets are playing? And for the Lakers, can the Lakers get them in the regular season? I think that matters.
Kawhi's going to need a month off if he plays in this entire stretch.
Nice.
In at number 2 is...
You've been hanging around Nick way too much.
Every day. Sarah, I hang around him every single day.
Besties.
Let's talk some Tom Brady. Pat's insider, Tom Kern, is reporting the Brady to the Niners buzz is real on both sides, and that Belichick would actually welcome a reunion with Jimmy Garoppolo. This, by the way, guys, exactly how movie scripts are conceptualized. Right. Nick, you buying this?
Oh, I'm buying that the Pats would be thrilled if they could pick up Jimmy Garoppolo, who essentially is on a 3-year contract with just team options. It's $27 million, $27 million, $27 million with no dead money associated with him. So I totally know why the Pats would be interested. I totally know why Brady might be interested in going to a great defense, awesome offensive line in the area of the country in which he grew up. I do not know why the Niners would want to trade out a quarterback coming off the best year of his career for a guy 14 years older than him coming off the worst year of his career.
Ask the Patriots guy. Wilds, do you see Brady?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jenna.
Do you see Brady in a Niners uniform?
I'd be okay with it.
You would be okay. That's the first check you've given us on Brady somewhere.
No, there's a certain poetry to it. Yeah, there's a poetry to like Montana, Brady, 2 greats.
All right. Okay.
Brady should finish his career like Montana did in Kansas City. Best chance to win a
Okay,
Super
well,
Bowl.
trade him for Mahomes.
Back up.
Straight up trade for Mahomes.
Lakers hosted the Sixers last night. Sixers down 2 stars in Embiid and Simmons. Lakers up 2 stars in LeBron and AD. Guess who prevailed? Exactly. LeBron gave you 22, 7, and 14. Anthony Davis chipped in a modest 37 and 13. Lakers cruise to the big win. They're now 9-1 over their last 10 games. Here's the King after the win.
Every minute that we're on the floor, we continue to grow together. You know, the most important for our ball club is that we challenge each other between the two of us. And, you know, when we do that, we hold each other accountable. It trickles down to everyone else in the ball club.
All right, Sarah, when you got LeBron and AD playing the way they're playing, dominating like this, can any team in the league beat them?
I think can any team beat them? Yes, I still have faith in the Clippers. However, I think by far these are the 2 best teams in the West. I love what the Rockets are doing. I think the way in which they've changed and how they have unlocked Russell Westbrook is impressive. I don't think you overlook what Denver and Utah can do. However,
I'll overlook Denver. I'm okay with overlooking Denver.
You don't believe in them?
No. But sorry, go ahead. That's
I'm not good, but nonetheless, I feel like when you watch what LeBron and AD can do on the floor together and how it changes the dynamic of how any team can guard them, then absolutely. I do think if you told me pick the winner between Clippers and the Lakers, I would still be going with the Clippers. I think their depth overmatches it. I think the way that they can come at you, I would still have more confidence. But overall, if you're saying a 1-game series, I believe our good buddy Vincent Goodwill said this on the show, pick a series, I'm picking the Clippers, pick a Game 7, and I'm picking the Lakers because you wouldn't bet against LeBron and Anthony Davis. And I think overall, too, just how LeBron understands how to play with Davis. I think what we see Anthony Davis continuing to do on the floor while he's out there on his own, how the rest of the team is going to come together, some of the new pieces that they have that they're fitting in. I think the remainder of the season, LeBron James and the coaching staff and Frank Vogel understand how to work out some of those tweaks and kinks, and I think the fact that they have started the season out the way they have and continue to play at this level is something to be said.
Well, so Anthony Davis is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and I know people are going to focus on his 37, but it was his defense that turned this game. The Lakers are down 13 points in the third quarter. I'm sorry, early in the second quarter, and then they go on a 37-10 run.
That doesn't worry you?
What part of it?
The fact that they were even down 13
no,
points.
No, because that's NBA basketball. That's NBA basketball. You're going to have. I'd be worried if they were down late. Early in the game, there was an odd sequence at the end of the first quarter where the the Sixers get 7 points in about 30 seconds. The Lakers got off to a sleepy start of the second quarter, and they flipped a switch.
Okay.
And Anthony Davis looked like a pterodactyl out there with his arms and just swarming. And then absolutely was dominant on the offensive end. And here's where, since you mentioned the Clippers, here's where I think the question's most interesting. If they play the Clippers in the NBA playoffs, that has to be an Anthony Davis series.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the Clippers have been built to slow down LeBron. They have ignored slowing down Anthony Davis. If you were to say the 7 players in the league most wired or most physically gifted to stop LeBron James or slow LeBron James, they got 3 of them in Los Angeles. They got Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, guys who weren't scared, guys who were strong, guys who were long. They got nobody to slow him down. And Anthony Davis early in the year, I thought was relying a little too much on the outside shot. In the calendar year of 2020, January 1 to now, that outside shot is dropping at a clip of 43%. To go along with these things he can do on the inside, when he plays as aggressive as he did offensively yesterday, I don't think there is a team in the West that can match the Lakers. Now, every time we have this discussion, I'm going to add the caveat of the Bucks look like an all-time great team. We don't care about them. We don't talk about them, but they profile out as one of the 7 greatest teams in the history of basketball. The Lakers don't profile out to that. So, but as far as the Western Conference goes, Wilds, if Anthony Davis plays like this, you know what you're getting from LeBron come the postseason, then I don't think anybody can hang with the Lakers on that side of the bracket.
You know what it felt like a little bit watching the highlights?
What's that?
It felt a little Showtime-y. It just felt like the Lakers have an identity, and I was watching the highlights, and I saw like AD is doing like crazy dribbles, and then he's got this up fake and dunk. There just felt like there was a swagger and confidence to them that was like, oh, this is like Showtime Lakers. Like no one's stopping them. And I just don't get these Watch this.
There's the up fake and dunk.
However,
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's an important point you brought. For as much as we're focused on teams in the West, Milwaukee is a beast. Yeah. I was just down in Miami calling a Nets Heat game, and I stayed after to see the Heat Bucks game. And however, the Heat handled Milwaukee, but you talk about different players that you potentially could toss at LeBron or at Anthony Davis.
Well, that's the problem. What Giannis could do on Anthony Davis is concerning for the Lakers, I feel like.
Lakers play the Bucks Friday night. We will get to see what that looks like. But we want to give a little turn and talk more about LeBron here. In year 17, looks like the King might be approaching this season just a little differently. This according to Brian Windhorst, who said James has embraced playing a position, point guard, he previously shunned. He's reversed as in-season strategy of a slow and sometimes sluggish build-up to the postseason. And he's done it with public and full support of his team, abandoning past approaches of occasionally bullying his way to roster moves. James, the Laker, has become bonded to his team's front office and ownership like never before in his career. Simply, this is not the James we've come to know.
Good.
Nick, no one's as dialed into this team and this athlete as you are. Are we seeing a different LeBron this year than you've seen, at least in years
past? The passive aggressiveness has not shown up anywhere. On the court, on social media, on the guys, come on. You're not seeing it. He has, at every step of the way with the Lakers, aside from the fact that he tore his groin, done everything right. I'm old enough to remember people criticizing LeBron for him wanting to play with Anthony Davis at the expense of Josh Hart's feelings. Well, how's Josh Hart supposed to play knowing he might be traded? How's that working out? Then this summer, if you remember, they wouldn't give Ty Lue a legitimate coaching contract, so he ends up going to be an assistant for the Clippers instead of head coach for the Lakers. LeBron doesn't say a word. When that happened, the day it happened, I reached out to Rich, LeBron's agent, and said, you guys want to say anything about this? Text me back immediately. LeBron's here to play, support whoever the coach is. And I couldn't believe it.
That surprised you.
But he did it.